Hey, so I did not get a chance to make a video a few days ago. I was feeling a little bit sick. Now, the whole playlist that I'm doing is 100 videos in 100 days. That doesn't necessarily mean that I have to do a video every single day, but I do need to put out 100 videos in 100 days. So, I'm doing two today, and today I figured I would just do something simpler. Previously, I had it in my mind that I was going to basically I was going to be doing reviews for The Boys, the new show on Amazon Prime. Um every 2 episodes I would do a new one, but I just binged it all the way through. And so I watched the whole series, the whole season, because it looks like they're going to have multiple seasons. And I have some thoughts. I am really excited about tackling this. So, all right, trying to get to a good spot where we can examine this. So the last time I was talking about it, The Boys, I had ended on season 2. Now, season 2, episode 2, episode 3, we were introduced to Mother's Milk. What's his name? Laz Alonso does a great job as Mother's Milk. I think he's absolutely fucking perfect. Perfect for the role. And then we get introduced finally to the female. Now, the female, I'm trying to get where's a good capture of the female? Here we go. Here. Pull this in over here. Oh. Nope, that's my Twitter. Boop. Boom. That'll work. All right. So the female in The Boys is one of the main people, much like Billy Butcher, Frenchie, Mother's Milk, Huey. And she is quite possibly the most dangerous member out of all of them in the comic books and, in fact, in the show. And who they got to play her? Karen Fukuhara. She's magnificent for it. I think she does really, really good. But we get introduced to her, and I found this to be one of my favorite moments in the entire season because it translates really well something that I didn't think was going to translate from the comic very well onto the screen, which is the female is somebody who doesn't speak but can still convey a lot of emotion, which is very difficult to do through a comic book because they never do like thought bubbles or anything. Everything that she conveys is either through her body language or through her communicating with her relationship with Frenchie. But she's dangerous. She's an animal. She's savage beyond comparison. Just pure and utter brutality. And they did a really, really good job of showcasing that. As well, there is the infamous The Plane scene. In the comic books, it takes place before the events of the actual comic books start. In this one, it takes place during the season. So it's quite a bit different. But the way in which they filmed it, the way in which the tension and the callousness, and that's really what I think they're really so good at with this series, is the callousness. The callousness in the airplane scene is a great example of whoever made this really gets the vibe of the comic book, The Boys. Now, there's a lot of things that are different. A lot of things that are different from the comic books into the series. For instance, there's changes in roster for the main superhero group, the Seven. Elizabeth Shue's character, Stillwell, Madeline Stillwell, I think is her name. I might be saying that wrong. Has a much bigger role, much more important role, but I think she does really good too. The Boys do not utilize Compound V themselves, at least not in this season. Maybe that's something that they're saving for a later season. And the secrets between Huey and his girlfriend Annie, Starlight, they're revealed very, very quickly on. And I think all of this really works. I think it really does. There's not much that I think they don't get right. There are a few things that I miss, and I wish there was a way that they could have been included, but them not being included doesn't really break it for me. For one, Billy Butcher doesn't have his dog. I loved his dog in the comic. His dog was adorable, but does it really matter that there's no dog? Not really. Mother's Milk, the origin behind Mother's Milk and how he is kind of souped up in the comic books. It's kind of sad that that's not included because it's pretty twisted and very original. It's a very unique concept. And then there's the origin behind Billy Butcher that you really get to understand and is revealed by the end of the season. I'm not going to spoil anything like that for any of you guys who might be halfway through it. It's very different. And I have no idea where they're going to go from here. At this point, the characters themselves are very similar to the comic, enough so that I'm very satisfied and happy. But they're different enough that now when I'm reading it, there are a few things that are familiar, but I have no idea where this is going to go. And I couldn't be happier about it, because when you're obsessed with a comic book like I am, and you know everything about it, you kind of expect that you know how the whole story is going to pan out, and you're like, well, I'm really looking forward to seeing this on screen. But you are kind of missing out on something because you're not going to be surprised. But I am now going to be surprised, and I'm thrilled. It's one of the things that I'm really happy they did with Preacher, making the changes that they did with Preacher, because it's fun. It's fun and it's engaging, and for somebody who loves the comics as much as I do, it gives me more content. You know, not just the same old content. Standouts that really made me happy. Popclaw and her landlord. Definitely a scene worth watching. I could not stop laughing. I loved it. The entire... I'm trying to figure out what the... It was episode 5, Good for the Soul. The entire episode centered around the Believe Expo was utterly fascinating. And really felt genuine, because mixing something like hardcore Christian evangelicism, like revival sort of shit, and the current workings of like how mega churches work, mixed in with superheroes, like that's exactly how I would perceive it, especially like the corruption and the weird shit that goes on with it. Like it was perfect. There's just this style, this vibe that goes with this comic series, but now even more so this show that is so resonating with everything going on in the world right now. And I love it. I absolutely love it. There was one other favorite moment, and I'm not sure if I can find it quickly. I'll try to while I'm talking. But it's probably one of my favorite visual moments I think I have ever seen in a TV show. I am absolutely thrilled by it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Probably not. It's too bad. It's so good. Oh, yeah. Haley Joel Osment, the kid who was in Sixth Sense. I see dead people all the time. They don't know that they're dead. Is in this as well. And he plays a character called Mesmer, a washed-up former superhero. And I am vastly entertained by it. He does a really damn good job. He does a damn good job that ultimately makes you just kind of fucking disgusted by him, and I really like how they managed to pull that off. That was some damn good shit. Damn good shit. But yeah, I don't think. I think that might be it. Unless was it in this episode? Oh, I'm trying to find that one scene. It's the baby scene. You know what? When you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a scene with Billy Butcher and a baby, and yeah, that's probably like one of my favorite scenes in the entire thing so far. But I'm really looking forward to season 2, which is probably not going to happen for a million years now. But for now, we have 8 glorious episodes, roughly 8 hours worth of The Boys translated brilliantly onto streaming TV. I highly recommend it. If you have Amazon Prime, you have to watch it. If you don't have Amazon Prime, either borrow it or find another way to watch this series because it's really good. If you like superhero movies, especially if you hate superhero movies, you will love The Boys. So that's my rating. 10 out of 10. A plus, a billion %. Go watch it. Highly recommended.